So maybe it's just me, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the comments that are going to call me crazy for this, but I think Call of Duty 4, despite how amazing it is overall, I'm not trying to say that it's a bad game or anything, but God, does it have so many bad maps. This is one of them. I think it's Ambush, right? Yeah. I never liked Ambush. I never liked most of the maps in this game, if we're going to be honest, right? I'm trying to think of ones that I actually liked. I mean, Shipment was good, but it kind of overstayed its welcome when it, at a certain point, became part of every single Call of Duty game. Crash was a great map, but literally every other map in the game, going back, they're either mid or just downright terrible. Like, Bog is a mid-ass map. Backlot, mid. Countdown, yeah, not a good one. And I'm just looking, like, at a list of, like, all the maps in the game. Yeah, Downpour, Pipeline, Showdown, Wet Work. Oh my god, yeah, there were some really shitty-ass maps in this game that I just forgot about. And honestly, like, back in the day, like, there was no game like this, so you kind of looked past the fact that the map design wasn't the best. And I guess it's also, like, looking back, compared to later entries in the series, where the map design was so much better, like even World at War, which came out the next year, was a lot better. Crossfire, yeah, this is the map that we're playing right now. Hate that map with a passion. Absolutely hate it. Even Vacant, I'm honestly not a big fan of. I think that map is pretty overrated, because I think most people actually like that one. Kill House and Broadcast were good maps from the DLC, but then you had Creek from the DLC, which was pretty horrible. Yeah, it's crazy looking back. Like, this is honestly one of my least favorite games to go back and play in 2025, because of the fact that it really just, like, what was the big problem? Honestly, a lot of the maps were campy. There was just too many lines of sight. You didn't really have the 3-lane map philosophy that came in later entries. So that was one thing. So the flow was just, yeah, like, you just getting shot from so many different directions. And it was also at a time when they still weren't really taking multiplayer too seriously. I mean, they obviously were, because you had Create a Class, you had, like, all these features that you never really had in an online multiplayer game before. So the multiplayer definitely mattered more in Call of Duty 4 than it did in the previous games in the COD series. But there still were a lot of maps that they just ripped straight from the campaign. Like, they were still doing a lot of that where, you know, they took a level from the single player and just copy and pasted it onto multiplayer and was like, yep, this is just one of our maps. Block, Wet Work were definitely two examples of that. And there were a few others where they didn't, you could tell they didn't test how these maps would actually play in a multiplayer setting. There's no way that Block was tested and actually passed. I mean, it's god-awful. Horrible. But it really makes sense looking back, because Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 got a lot of criticism from people in the community about just how horrible the map design is and how slow and campy and how you can't really run around without getting shot from so many different directions, and like there's just the maps just don't flow very well. But honestly, looking back to the older games that Infinity Ward made, including Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2 got a little bit better, but there were still some maps that were suspect, like Derail, and honestly, I didn't really like Estate either. Wasteland, no. But MW3 was a little bit better. Infinite Warfare, honestly, is the best map design that Infinity Ward has ever done. Like, by far. And, like, with Treyarch, after a certain point, after Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, every single map being 3 lanes kind of got a little old pretty quickly. But when, you know, during its heyday, though, when we did have those games during their primes, like, looking back, it's like there wasn't a single really bad map in either Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2. Like, the worst map in BO1 would be Crisis, probably, right? And in Black Ops 2, it's probably Aftermath, but honestly, I would take Aftermath, Crisis, what was the other one? Crack, that was another map that people didn't like in BO1, over, like, the vast majority of the maps in Call of Duty 4. I know, like, it's not a popular thing to say, but holy shit, like, every time I go back to this game, I just don't have as much fun. And I used to think it had to do with the game being pretty bare bones in comparison to later entries, like the weapon customization and the overall progression and the amount of kill streaks, like all those things put together, like there's just so much more that the other games that came out after Call of Duty 4 have to offer that, yeah, it kind of feels like a little bit of a downgrade when you go back to COD 4. But you also got to respect the GOAT. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect this game whatsoever. I'm just saying, looking back, it's like, wow, like, it's not as fun as I remember it being, if that makes any sense. But I'm obviously in the minority saying that because this gameplay that I recorded for you guys today was actually made on a Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I was able to get into a match instantly without waiting at all. I took right into a full lobby of TDM. I mean, obviously there was some stuff happening where earlier on the host ended the game and there was a little bit of bullshit going on, but that's just, you know, what happens. But yeah, it's great. Like, there's still a lot of players in 2025 if you're interested in playing Call of Duty 4. And it does still have a lot of fun. I'm not trying to say, oh, it sucks, but the maps, yeah, not as good as I remember. Am I crazy for saying that? Maybe, but that's definitely how I feel.